Poet and author Ralph Waldo Emerson once called for a philosophy of the people. What if I were to tell you that such a philosophy exists? A simple, dynamic, truthful guide to living ethically and with power. So, what is this philosophy? This is the New Thought Movement. What exactly is the New Thought Movement? Well, to discuss this, first of all, I'd like to say I've not only done some theoretical research into this topic, but I've also done some practical application and put these principles into play in my own life. So I'd like to first of all talk about the inception of the New Thought Movement, then move into when the actual belief system was kind of crystallized, and then finally talk about what it's evolved to in today's world. So let's begin in New York, 1875. Right around the time that Emerson was writing his Transcendentalist works. So Mitch Horowitz, in his 2018 book of the same name, mentions a club titled the Miracle Club, which was created by a bunch of movers and shakers in the spiritual community and a bunch of esoteric seekers who sought out to explore the seemingly unexplainable. And basically, this is when the proverbial seed of the movement had been planted. Its members included Helena Blavatsky and Henry Steele Olcott, who would go on to form the Theosophical Society, which does still exist today. So after this period of time, around the 1930s and 60s is when the movement really came into being and found its own legs. So first of all, we had Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, and took the principles that were being kind of discussed and played around with in the Miracle Club and put a focus more on applying them into a financial and practical setting. And according to Penguin Publishers, Think and Grow Rich has now sold over 50 million copies, and it was published in 1937. After that, we had Neville Goddard, who wrote such works as Faith is Your Fortune and my personal favorite, Feeling is the Secret, and he took a more metaphysical approach. But we cannot just fly through this era without discussing the most influential and popular book of the time, which is The Power of Positive Thinking. This was written by one of the most popular and influential clergymen of the era, Norman Vincent Peale. And according to Politico magazine, our current president even called Peale, quote, his pastor, and one of the greatest speakers he had ever seen. This book took a more practical and biblical approach to keeping a positive outlook in everyday life. So what was originally called the power of positive thinking has now evolved into what we now call the law of attraction. So in 2006, a little book and film was released titled The Secret. And according to Creative Biography, the official website of The Secret, over 30 million copies have been sold and it's been translated into 50 different languages. The basic premise of The Secret being that thoughts are causative and that we can think things into reality by 3 simple steps: ask, believe, and receive. So, what exactly is the New Thought Movement? And how has it stood the test of time? Well, we've talked about its inception, how it was crystallized, and what it's evolved to today. But I believe that it's basically the message of hope and self-empowerment that has allowed it to live on. Emerson called for a philosophy for the people, and the beautiful thing of the New Thought Movement is there's no dogma, no pantheon of deities, just the belief that every human can control their life if we can first find faith and learn to direct our thoughts. Thank you.